I'd like to talk to you about Kairos as it applies to the rhetorical golf lesson. So I'm the instructor and Eli is my student, and we're in a rhetorical situation because I'm trying to make a change in his golf swing, and I'm performing, and he is my audience. Now, on another level, he is also performing, and I am his audience, as well as part of himself. And another twist to this is that there's another rhetorical situation in that we are both performing within this video for you guys, the audience. So what I'd like to do is do the lesson, and then we'll come back and point out the particular Kairos moments. So here we go.
You haven't played at all, have you? At all. Okay, so what we're going to start with is Eli's going to hit a few shots to warm up. Just have you warm up. Go ahead. That's all right.
So what is Kairos? It's an opportune moment. It's meaning-filled time. It's a dimension of value and dynamism. It's a possibility for change in the moment. It's where the rhetor creates his or her openings. It's an infinite point in time, and it compels the rhetor to speak. It's a sense of urgency in speech, words, in writing, or action. To know when to speak. Kairos is beautifully complex. Now, where is it from? Well, it started in ancient Greece. Chronos refers to the sequence of time, and Kairos is the subjective dimension of time. The mythical creature of Kairos has wings on his shoulders and his feet to indicate motion, movement, and the ability to change directions. His link to athletics is seen at the Stadium of Olympia. Perhaps as a lesson for those to be prepared to seize the opportunity as he passes by, can grab his hair from his forehead, or miss the opportunity. We think Kairos originated with Pythagoras. The sophists knew that time was vital to persuasion. They also saw rhetoric as an art form and needed Kairos to adapt to changes in circumstances within the discourse. Isocrates saw that by practicing discourse, you could focus less on thinking and be more free in the moment for your arguments. Aristotle took the mystical notion out of Kairos with the notion that it provides proof in time and space. It's also a passing instant when an opening appears which must be driven through with force if success is achieved. Kairos is also linked to archery, the arrow being carefully entering the place in the neck to kill or kill the argument. There's also an association of Kairos to weaving, where the threads are attached to the loom. And the more tightly woven an argument is, the fewer openings to refute by an audience. Kairos emerges only when a person is engaged in a particular situation and is very important to the rhetorical situation. It takes risk. So there's a risk of failure if the timing is not right or appropriate to the situation. There's a risk in addressing the present because you're confronting the elements as they unfold. Failure in kairotic moments, even in spelling Kairos, is when you're frozen. You could be too early, you could miss the opportunity. Rhetoric is an art form, so is Kairos. Kairos takes timing, precision, talent, and practice. It takes creativity to recognize and adapt. Can we teach this? Yes and no. To a certain point, talent may not be teachable. So an element of Kairos may not be teachable as well, such as athletes being in the zone. Kairos is a fluid motion, to always be on the move with thought, knowing how and when. It's the opportune moment where time is suspended. So let's get back to the golf lesson. We'll come back to the Kairos in just a minute.
So probably with a good grip. You also probably don't want the club to hit the ground. I know.
Now this was pretty important when Eli said he didn't think he wanted the club to hit the ground. So we'll come back to that in a minute, but that's pivotal. Speaking of pivotal, now we're talking about the setup, and I'm just telling him to keep his feet about shoulder width apart, and then he needs to feel like he could move and be in a position to jump and feel balanced on his feet. Now we're talking about a small swing, taking the club about waist high in the backswing. Then we're going to go waist high and finish, and then that's the beginning of his small swing motion. Now as Eli is working on his swing, I'm talking about positions too. The toe of the club pointing up in his backswing and pointing up right there. We can talk about a kairotic moment as the entire golf lesson, as being that time and place within the rhetorical situation where I really want to give him just the right amount of information, not too much that he'll feel overwhelmed with information, but just the right amount of information in order for him to perform and to change his golf swing for the better. So now I'm talking to Eli a little bit more about his finish, to get his body turned toward his target and his club finishing a little higher. And also a biggie, the biggest kairotic moment I think in the whole lesson was me telling him I want him to hit down on the ground. So that completely changed what he thought what golf was about. So getting him to hit the ground, which would propel the ball in the air. So that was my big kairotic moment in my performance to him, and also the entire Kairos of the golf lesson, in order to give him just the right amount of information. I hope. We'll see. So at this point, now I'm helping him with a little bit more of a finish. Eli is doing a great job. He's getting a beautiful motion going here. And his golf swing has changed significantly. So I feel like the kairotic golf lesson was successful. So before we left the lesson, I wanted to go over a good grip for him. But I hope in this short little 8 or 9 minutes that you've enjoyed watching Eli do his performance, which was phenomenal. Thank you, Eli. And I hope you have a clear understanding of Kairos.
That's awesome.
Look at that swing. Oh, so what do you think? Was it a successful kairotic moment? Looks like it was.
That was dope.